Hello, this is a video on how to play the card game King Albert. King Albert is a solitaire card game and is played using a standard 52 card deck, with the objective of the game being to build 4 foundations up from ace to king. In terms of setting the game up, at the beginning, 7 cards are dealt face up into a reserve pile. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is our reserve pile here. And then you deal the remaining 45 cards face up into 9 piles. The first pile gets 9 cards, the second 8 cards, and so on, right? So 9, 8, 7, all the way down, with the last pile getting a 1 card. You'll start the game off with 4 empty foundation piles. On the tableau, cards are played in descending order in alternate colors. That means that you can play one card onto another if it is 1 rank lower and of the opposite color. This queen is 1 rank lower than the king of the opposite color, right? The queen is red, the king is black. So we can go ahead and play them like so. This 2 is 1 rank lower than the 3, opposite color. We can go ahead and play it like so. It just has to be 1 rank lower and of the opposite color. If you have an empty pile in the tableau, it can be filled with any card. And so if we didn't have that queen there, and it was just empty, we could fill it with any card right there. Any card from the reserve is available to be played to the tableau or the foundation, right? And so I could play a card from the reserve to the tableau or to the foundation. That's sort of common sense, but I thought I would just mention it anyway. Also note that foundation piles start from ace and are built up to king, and that's pretty much it. So what are the only rules you really need to pay attention to? On the tableau, cards are played in descending order in alternate colors. An empty pile on the tableau can be filled with any card. That's pretty much it. Those are the only 2 rules. And so let us sort of begin the game. We have our ace of spades here. We'll go ahead and place it like so. And so now what are we looking for? We're looking for another ace. That ace right there would be beneficial to have. Also note that you can really only play the top card of a pile. Right? Notice how we can only ever play the top card of a pile, right? We aren't able to play a set of cards or a group of cards. And so let us sort of see what we could do here. We know that there's an ace there, as well as 2 aces right there. And so the prime thing to do would be to try to get both of those aces, right? That would greatly improve our ability to win. So I'm going to go for I guess a bit of a play here. We know that we'll have to do something here. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do in terms of making a move. And so we could stack cards like that, but that wouldn't really do us much benefit. As you can see, King Albert is pretty hard, right? Because if you're dealt a bad tableau, then it's very hard to win. In this case, our tableau actually is quite good because our aces aren't buried too deep. But it's just our own skill level. Well, my skill level is quite bad, and so that's why I'm unable to make effective use of this tableau here. But right, once again, the rules are simple: descending order, and an empty pile can be filled with any card. So what would the objective be here then? The objective would, if we can empty that pile, we'll sort of be able to make a move here. We want to move this 7, right? And to move this 7, we'll need an 8, right? To obtain an 8, this is our closest 8 there. So we'll have to move this 5 somehow. And to do that, we'll need a red 6. Okay. So there's a lot of factors that go into being able to, I guess, uncover a card. So let's leave that off for now. Let's see if we can find the 2 of spades. So the 2 of spades is there as well. And so somehow finding a black 8 is essential for our victory here. And we also have a black 8 right there. But we need a black 8 to move this 7 on. So this is the only way. The only way we can move this 7 is if we uncover this 8 here. The only way we can uncover this 8 is if we uncover this 5 using a red 6. We're in a bit of a catch-22. Okay? The red 6s are also under the 2 piles for which we are interested in, right? We're interested in this pile and this pile. The red 6 is there, the red 6 is there. We can't ever move this 5. We can't ever get to this 8. Therefore, we can't ever move this 7. Recognizing this, there's no way we can actually effectively win this game because we are in a deadlock. A deadlock is when the card that needs to be moved is sitting on top of the only card it can be moved to. The 7 needs to be moved, it is sitting on top of the only card it can be moved to, right? And this 5 needs to be moved, but in order to do so, in order to move this 5, we need to move this 7. In order to move this 7, we need to move this 5, right? Because in order to move this 5, we need to get that 6. In order to move this 7, we need to get that 8. We're in a deadlock, right? When both moves, 2 sets of piles are restricted by each other, that's called the deadlock. And you have to recognize this, and the best thing to do in that scenario is just to restart your game because you will never get anywhere, right? If you are in a deadlock, it is impossible to essentially win. What we'll do anyway is we'll just play a bit more, I guess, making a couple more moves here. Although it would not make a difference really. Okay, yeah, it would not really make a difference. Right, so I mean, you could sit there and play all these cards, but it wouldn't really do anything. You actually have to strategically do stuff in this game. So now that I'm looking at it, if we can sort of move this to that 2 of diamonds there. Okay. A bit of a sort of going to try something here. It may work, it may not. Okay, yeah, it didn't look like it worked, but I still had to try it anyway. Yeah, so we can actually win this game, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart here. And so note that that might happen. You have to recognize deadlock, and there's no point of actually playing another game there, right? The rules are pretty simple, and let's see if we can make something happen. So right away, I think we already have a better hand here. That's because we have the ability to unlock the ace of diamonds, and then we can place the 2 of diamonds there. And now what we'll do is we'll sort of see what other cards we need. We also need the 3 of diamonds. To do that, we'll have to get the 6 away, right? And so we'll also play that 3 of diamonds as well, and we also unlock the ace. Now, what else is there to really play here, right? We have this king of spades. And I'm not going to play it to that empty pile yet, but it is optimal to play a king to an empty pile because that's the only way you can actually move a king, right? If a king is sitting at the front of a pile, it blocks the entire pile. You can only move it to an empty pile because it is not ranked lower than any other card, and so it cannot be built on any other card. So now we're looking for the 4 of diamonds. The 4 of diamonds is sitting very deep in there, and honestly, it seems unlikely that we'll be able to get to it based on our current moves available. So we're not going to go for the 4 of diamonds. If we can somehow move this 4 of spades, though, that'll unlock the ace of spades. The ace of clubs is also very, very deep. Okay, so we're just going to have to try something here. I don't think it'll work, simply because I don't know if we have the required cards to make some of these moves. And yeah, it doesn't look like we do. Unfortunately, we'd be placed in a sort of a deadlock here. My objective was to uncover that 4 of diamonds, and on the way uncover that ace of clubs. But as you can see, right, the game is quite hard. That essentially wraps it up. In terms of setting it up one more time, let's just show you, right, what you'll need is a standard 52 card deck, and you'll deal 7 cards face up into a reserve pile like so, and the remaining 45 cards face up into 9 piles. The first pile, left to right, gets 9 cards, the second 8, 7, and so on, all the way to the last pile getting 1 card. You'll start the game off with 4 empty foundation piles. In terms of the gameplay, on the tableau, cards are played in descending order in opposite colors. This queen is ranked 1 lower than the king of the opposite color. We can make the play like so. If you have an empty pile, it can be filled with any card. That wraps up how to play King Albert. I hope you enjoyed. This somewhat tricky card game, and we weren't really able to get any moves going, and hopefully you'll have better luck than I do. Thank you for watching.